Hi, my name is Amelia, and here is my absolute value presentation. So the anatomy of this kind of function, it would be written as y equals a absolute value lines, x minus h plus k. So a is the steepness of this function, and it's not the same as slope. X would be the number that you input. H is the x value or coordinate of the vertex, and the thing about h, the sign is always different than how it's written in the function. That tripped me up a lot whenever I was learning this, but you get the hang of it eventually. And then k is the y value or coordinate of the vertex. And then the formatting, we would write the vertex like h comma k, because h is the x value and k is the y value. And then the axis of symmetry is just going to be x equals h, which is again the x value. And then the minimum, function will have a minimum if a is greater than 0, and it'll have a maximum if a is less than 0. So the min or max will be k, or the y value. The domain will always be all real numbers. And then the range, depending on if it's minimum or maximum, will be different. For like a minimum function, then it will be y is greater than or equal to k. And if the function has a maximum, then OBY is less than or equal to k. Here's my first example. Well, the thing that I always did to start, I would label the parts of this function over the actual function. It made it a lot easier for me to like memorize how to do it and get the hang of it. Here we have the graph and the function already. So I said earlier, for the h value, the sign always changes. So instead of being negative 4 like it looks like it should be, it would be positive 4 comma negative 9, because vertex is written h comma k. And then the axis of symmetry, that's going to be the x value of the vertex, that would be 4. And then this graph has a maximum because the a value is negative. So we would have a maximum, and that maximum is negative 9. Domain is all real numbers. Because this function has a maximum, the range will be y is less than or equal to negative 9. And then for my second example, again, I wrote the parts of the function. So on this one, remember, switch signs again. Instead of positive 7 comma 2, it would be negative 7 comma 2 for the vertex. And then axis of symmetry would be the x value of the vertex, so that would be negative 7. And then this graph has a minimum this time because the a value is positive. The point's going to be pointing down if it's a minimum, it's going to be pointing up if it's a maximum. And then the domain is all real numbers again, and the range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 2 because we have a minimum this time, and k is 2. And now we're going to be solving using graphs and functions. So first we're going to solve this using a function. So if all we're given is this right here, and we already know how it's supposed to be formatted, then we can easily fill it out. H and k would give me the vertex. So that would be positive 2 comma positive 5. So we got that. And then the AOS is the x value of the vertex or the h. So that would be positive 2. The a value 2 is positive. So the graph would have a minimum rather than a maximum. And that minimum would be 5, which is the k value. Domain is all real numbers. And then the range, since it's a minimum, is y is greater than or equal to 5. To solve an equation using a graph, if we were only given this, we could figure out a few things really quick. First, that the a value is greater than 0 because this graph is pointing down, meaning it has a minimum, so the a value would be positive. If we look right here, we can see the vertex, and so that would be positive 2 comma 5. And then because we have the vertex, we could also see that the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. And then since we already know that it's going to have the minimum rather than the maximum, we know that the minimum will be 5. We can see that here. Domain is all real numbers. And then the range is y is greater than or equal to 5. And then we can use this information to write the function. And then you can use, I know like the a value is not the same as slope, but because it's steepness, but you can use rise over run to find how much this is. So rise 2, run 1, 2 divided by 1 is 2. So the a value would be 2 in this case. Thank you.